Hi everybody, welcome to Principles of Economics for summer semester 2021-22. My name's Edward Mariyani-Squire and I'm your subject coordinator and your lecturer and tutor for this unit for the duration of the semester. Principles of Economics is an introductory overview of the economics discipline. Obviously, we can't cover everything. So what we really do is focus on a few major important fields of study. Economics is, of course, essential to business. It's in a business school. However, economics is really a very big picture subject. It focuses, if you like, and this can serve as a kind of definition of economics, as a discipline which is interested in the allocation of resources and how goods and services are produced and distributed throughout the society in order to ensure its reproduction. In a sense, it's interested in the kind of base foundations that ensure any society can continue to function through time. Here, we're interested in really two major kinds of institutions. One is markets. The other is the decisions of government in seeking to construct, reconstruct, regulate, and manipulate those markets. Principles of Economics, like any introductory economics unit, is divided into two parts, and that's because the discipline itself is divided into two parts, roughly speaking. One is microeconomics, and that's what we'll look at for the first half of the semester. Microeconomics is interested in looking at individual markets, so the supply and demand, so to speak, of some particular good or resource. It's interested in how is a good or resource priced, how much of it is produced or employed in that market. And behind that, of course, it's interested in the individual behavior of buyers and sellers. Very often that boils down to consumers and firms. Microeconomics is particularly interested in the question of efficiency, and we'll see what that means later on. And there is a theoretical underpinning which sets out conditions for what an efficient market would be. However, we're also going to be spending some time looking at how markets fail to be efficient. The second part is macroeconomics. And here we're not interested in individual markets or individual industries. Rather, we're interested in how the economy as a whole functions. So here we're interested in things like economic growth, the increase in the production of goods and services over time, or its opposite, where you have a recession. We're interested in employment and unemployment, and we're interested in the increase in the general level of prices in the economy, as well as trade in and out of Australia. Now, both of these separate fields are heavily involved in formulating policies, government policies. So in the case of microeconomics, we might say that there are what we could call regulatory policies. That is, policies relating to the allocation of property rights. Who has the right to use, say, for example, a piece of land or a river or a forest or the air? Price controls could be imposed by governments, and taxes and subsidies could be used to manipulate the outcomes of markets as well. In the case of macroeconomics, we're predominantly interested in two branches, or levers, if you like. One is fiscal policy, which is about the budget, the federal budget, taxation and revenue, that's used to influence the fortunes of the economy as a whole. And monetary policy, which is where the Reserve Bank seeks to manipulate or control interest rates in order to, again, influence the trajectory of the economy as a whole, particularly as it relates to prices or the inflation rate and unemployment. So that's roughly what Principles of Economics is about. The first half of the semester and the second half of the semester, micro and macro. The summer semester version of Principles of Economics is somewhat compressed compared to when it is offered in autumn and spring, simply because summer is a shorter semester. But that doesn't mean we're learning less, we're just compressing it into a smaller time frame. It's also a unit which is, officially speaking, entirely online. That means we don't have regular face-to-face classes at all, and learning is really self-directed. That is, you have to do it yourself, so to speak, to a very large extent. So to succeed in this unit, you really need to be very self-disciplined. You need to timetable your work week by week and do it consistently in order to avoid falling behind. Please be aware of the trap of summer semester, which is the Christmas New Year break. That can really slow down your progress. So you have to be very disciplined about this. All the material you need to know about this unit is set out in the learning guide. So I would encourage you to go onto Views, download that and read it pretty much now. It contains information about all the material that you need to work through. So what you basically need to do for this unit is to read the assigned chapters of the textbook on a weekly basis and take notes, detailed notes on those chapters. You should watch the weekly videos made mainly by me on Views and take detailed notes about those videos. And finally, of course, you need to complete the assessment tasks that are set out. Incidentally, the textbook is by Sloman, Norris, and Garrett. It's creatively titled Principles of Economics. You should be able to access that online via the library website. You can also get a hard copy from the library if you want. It's available on all campuses. And you could also buy the book as a hard copy if you wanted to online. As to the assessment tasks, there's 4. There are multiple choice quizzes. There's 4 multiple choice quizzes actually, and they're in the first half of the semester. Then there are 8 debatable questions where you give a short response to a question that I've formulated for you that might be a little bit controversial. It might require a little bit of thinking on your part. Those questions will be set out throughout the whole semester. Then there's the short answer assignment, and that is due in the second half of the semester. Of course, then there's the final exam. For the due dates, you should consult the learning guide. Except for the final exam, of course, you'll be told by the university when the final exam timetable comes out. I think that's pretty much it for the details that I need to describe for you. If you have any questions at all, any follow-up questions based on what I've just said, please feel free to email me. Also, throughout the semester, if you've got some kind of admin question or you've got a conceptual question about the content of this unit, feel free to email me. I'll answer as soon as I can. I might even make a little video response to you. Also, I'm the academic program advisor for students who are doing or considering doing an economics major or an applied finance major in the Bachelor of Business. So if you've got any questions about that, you can also email me. Okay, good luck for the rest of the semester.